They are not the only group, but now so they fight amongst themselves. That was the Sako cabal. And we got to make them very clear to our people. Say, because if we not explain them, me personally, I not be interested in any of these groups in the diaspora because we don't always maintain. Say, you cannot be lounging 3,000 miles away, wake up for morning time, go eat scrambled egg, no get anything to do, no work, go sit down on a computer, think say that's how you're going to liberate a territory from 3,000 miles away. No be so it work. But we still get some people them way they fall for that nonsense. And that group don't cause a lot of confusion. Right now, no be we the talk them. Now themselves, they done they into two camps and they point fingers at each other. Sako, Iringwa, they did for their own camp with Fombat them. And then Chris Anu, Abongwa, Nanchop them, J-Card, they did for their own camp. They did now insult each other, saying that them be the thief. We get to make our people realize, say, we get to take responsibility for if we want to liberate ourselves. We know if we go shit down for house, and then it things as some people them for diaspora, where their owner for cause confusion, because it's about gamesmanship, it's about photo ops, it's about show. They need to feel the pain where we not feel. And that's why we always talk for this show, say, ground zero, get to take responsibility. Make we know, say, this was the same gang of people with that Igiawang, all them. This was the same gang of people where they be know, they be go Elvis Cometa where they for so-called Restoration Council and that gang of do-nothing people where their owner for carry title. They be go APNC for Philadelphia where they be lay out the problems with that Sako gang. They remain quiet. Eric Tato be publish a trove of information, bank statements, credit card use, abuses, embezzlement, evidence. They remain quiet, like say they don't know. Instead, they send the blue and white army for smear anybody who want to talk the truth. They knew about it. They were quiet. Today, they commode Chris Anude on everybody who want give you a chance to go on anywhere. They go call meeting, they hold Zoom, they do this, they do that, for try for sanitize themselves like they were the good people. And Sako was, all that audit scam, where they be the play. Why the so-called Restoration Council under Cometa, she don't talk, say, okay, this is serious enough. Let us take a look at it. They cover Sako. Today, they can't talk, say, Sako don't go sign $30 million contract with CDC. Sako, you were all part of it. You enabled it. And Chris Anoué, he own Mami, they be catch you with hundreds of millions of francs CFA. Get tied to them for Cameroon. He never talk about his own embezzlement. None of them need to accept responsibility. None of them need to show remorse or ask for forgiveness. None of them need to talk how much themselves say they be thief. He get one way they do audios now. He the one deny. He be get money for defense. That money will be ever reach ground zero. Fighters on the ground, when they be talking, they need to see that money. Nobody no be go question Iringwa. All them they be there inside that mess. Today, because that money need to come again and they need to share them as well, they be think say they go share them. They the one can fool we. Same way we believe say they are for the struggle. Now the same people then that way they don't hold the struggle back. So Doc, I don't know what you want to talk since we get limited time today.
So,
we'll go for
I gave a talk, say, maybe just a few pointers. I was in Philadelphia, okay, for that APNC or whatever that we call that meeting.
Yes.
I would drive 7 hours to get to Philadelphia. But if you realize that before that meeting, this same parrot will be there on air, ranting, pitting everywhere, talking about how some military guy that Cameroon will send, La Republique send military people
Banqui.
for come out from ground zero, Banqui, led by Banqui, for come attack people. And I was like, I mean, for real? And some people were actually afraid. In fact, that is the reason why I decided to go. I left work and I left everything that I had to do and drove overnight just to go and face the and just see if it was true that an idiot like that in the United States, for God's sake, but this guy was able, there is no filter. Because him and truth are strangers, right? He's a stranger to the truth. And so he was able to make all of these. And just because they wanted to obfuscate, like you say. Because just remember, say, just by then, their own audit, where that the system they be commissioned,
yes.
if you don't come out, talk how we they be raised 800,000, even though by so many accounts, the people the way they be collect the money, many of which I know, because the person will be in charge of collecting our money from the New England, Northeast corridor, and the way there for Midwest. I know at least 3 or 4 people that be collect the money. Where the amount of money where they be submit them to they never be tallied. It never be far more than where the audit be actually even account for. But given all those imperfections, the audit still came out and said, right, $800,000 plus dollars raised, and they could only account for about $300 and something thousand expenditure. Think about that as a budget, and that it was at that time we were at that EPNC, and Cometa came in with I think Brado was actually was one of the people coming with him and other people to really at that point Cometa agreed, in principle, that what this guy did. He himself explained some of the things that he saw that were not right. But I was actually very, very, very surprised that these people did not have the moral fortitude, like the courage to go outside and confront the beast and say this is what was happening. Now all of a sudden, the same cabal way it be tried for obfuscate. Again, as you say, because now they now fight over the spoils of who forget the bigger share of weighty of their thievery and who could be in control. So to continue and perpetrate the thievery. So because they are fighting over now, they are cannibalizing themselves. And then they are making it look like any one of them get any moral authority over another.
All of them are thieves. Enablers.
As far as sheep are concerned, there is no difference between a wolf, a tiger, and a lion, because they are all cannibals who would eat the sheep. And that's what Amazonians need to take care of. And when it comes to Chris Anu specifically, I have to say to people, you go back and tell me, may they go back, first of all, go audit the BLM. Okay, see all the money we don't go for inside the BLM and ask what was done with that money. And all of the things that we all man there for years, they talk, and people have been talking about this. Him and his brother, all they did was frustrate the real fighters within the place. And until they left, there was not going to be any fight. I mean, they were engaged in frauding newspapers. By their account alone, they don't kill like 10,000 La Republique soldiers for inside the BLM alone, but none of them was killed, just to justify their continual stranglehold on the money. These guys, these are not the people Amazonia can trust.
None of them. And the reason that way would bring this thing up, for one, our people say, if we not be learn that lesson, somebody can't tell Steve Man, Tiger need to change his spots for ever, let alone for old age. Now, people then this way, they collect money, they thief the money, they be no, say thief, they go on. They go tell you, say, well, they be just keep on thinking, say they feel change, things say they feel fix thing, they not be one meeting them. But now, the only reason why they talk now because they need to get that money, make them say self, they can't talk. Or they now they deny, say they no be touch that money, but they be no. They be touch that money, they are the same people. Whether now Chris Anu Abongwa camp or na Sako Irene camp where they still struggle for behave like say they no thief. Now this habit, where they don't learn for La République, where the government for La République is a gang of thieves, and they force the people for normalize the fact say your leaders have to be thieves. And so Bia Dede, Ngongo Ferdinand Dede, Louis-Paul Motaze Dede, Samuel Ayolo Dede, non-thieves, Mbargangele them, Bamqui them, embezzlers. But the people for La République, they don't just come for accept them, say it is normal. Our leaders are thieves, and that's who we recognize. But that will not happen in Southern Cameroon. We will never accept thieves, embezzlers, to be the leaders of Southern Cameroon. That group, whether they come in any other name, are the same people.
And
what did they know? When did they know? They knew They partook in it.
Right.
Now the money need to come. They pretend like say they are all holy.
Right,
go
2
ahead.
points, Arthur, before you close. La République, you know, for La République, right? They always ask who among the proof, right? Where are the proofs, right? So these people have learned very, very avidly from their masters and their master Turks in Yaoundé. Like, because all of them, that you say, oh, show us the evidence. We don't have any evidence that, you don't have any evidence that we stole. The problem, in my view, is really not whether you stole or you did not steal. The problem is, if you knew you were there at the highest levels of that revolution, of that cabal, if you did not see these people stealing, number one, either you are the most incompetent leader, right? 2, you must have actually, you were an accomplice in, at that time, making people continue to steal money that was actually meant to defend our people, and therefore causing the deaths of our people. Or 3, you are a thief. Either of these 3 would disqualify you as a leader. So there is absolutely nothing here. We talk in the Christian folks will tell you about sins of omission and commission, and then we will tell you about, so sometimes that the only condition, the one condition necessary for evil to thrive is for the good people to sit back and do nothing. And so if you're calling yourself a good person, yes, you cannot sit and claim that you knew about this. You knew this is war. It's not a computer game. There are real lives at stakes. They are really lives. Some people, we have lost well over 50,000 Ambazonians, many of whom would not have been lost if this war, if this money had not been misappropriated, and the ability to contribute driven down, and our people have been able to defend the brave young men and women who decided to take the gun, defended our people, we would not be in this position. And so any one of them has to come out, first of all, and apologize to the people of Ambazonia for everything that they did. Either you are an accomplice, or you were you took part in the crime, or you are incompetent. All of you should shut up.
Yes, they not only apologize, and then leave the scene. Just go. Chris Anu, Abongwa, Sako, Iringwa, Igiawang, all will not just go. We not done thief, we not done take the money, we not fight with ourselves, we not just kill with ourselves, remain quiet in shame and disgrace. I don't know how these people are capable of still showing their faces with this kind of, I don't want to use the word all over their faces. It is, La République has done a number on us,